Hi, my name is Lisa. I'm calling from the FFE terminal in Chicago, and they're supposed to have some really bad weather today, but I'll be gone by the time it gets here. I wanted to talk to you guys today about maximizing your time and saving fuel and saving money. I got a call from my accounting firm that told me for the amount of miles that I went, I saved $7,000 this year. I was like, oh, did I really? Yeah, that went back into my pocket, which was wonderful to me. I don't normally fuel where KLLM or FFE or FFE KLLM tell me to fuel. They send you a route plan if you ask for it, and put you along these routes where you can stop, where they get kickbacks for you fueling. And I don't generally stop at those the big three, big four, whatever you want to call them. Flying J and Pilot, Love's, TA, and Petro. I stop at the off-brands, and I generally, if the first time I'll stop and I'll look at the fuel, I might get 50 gallons. And if the fuel, it looks clean. If it's brown, I try not to use it. And sometimes Love's is really green and it's or brown. But Quick Trip has the best looking fuel to me. The off-brands generally are, 20, 30, sometimes 50 cents cheaper than those big ones. It saves me money because sometimes I pay cash. And, here lately, the most I've had to pay, being like maybe $2.50 for a full tank. And I end up saving a lot of money. And sometimes I go to the terminals. I'll call the terminals ahead of time, Lancaster, and ask her how much is the fuel. And if it's only a penny or two difference from what the truck stops down the street or down the highway, or even 20 or 30 miles out or the direction I'm going in, I'll stop and get some at the terminal. But in the beginning, when I first started working for FFE and KLLM in 2012, the terminal was higher than where you can find it at. And I would never get fuel. I did in the beginning, like maybe the first 2 times, but when I really realized what I was doing, I stopped getting fuel at the terminals. And then they brought their prices down to be competitive, because they noticed that a lot of lease operators weren't getting fuel at the terminals, and they were having they weren't having a lot of their fuel trucks coming to fuel because they weren't getting rid of it. I save a lot of money like that. They even started giving me a service charge of the most I've seen was $10 one time, because I saved like 68 cents one time when they were so high. I guess they were kind of like getting mad at me because I wouldn't use one of their preferred companies, Flying J and Pilot and Love's and whatever, whichever, however. I'm good with that. I'm saving myself some money. This is my business, and this is what I do. And also another way to make some money, save and make some money, is just because your truck goes 70 miles an hour doesn't mean you have to drive at 70 miles an hour. Now, when I have a student on my truck, I drive 70 and I let them drive 65. Reason why is because, first of all, they don't know how to shift, so that's gonna, and the RPMs have a lot to do with you saving fuel too. And when they over rev, that's using a lot of my fuel. But if you keep them at 65 and you're going across country from, like, you know, New Jersey to California, then you're saving a lot of money. Also, I don't let them drive more than 65 because it builds stamina. It does no good for them to get in a truck going 70 miles an hour and they're going to turn around and be a company driver, and then they can't drive 500 miles because they didn't build any type of stamina. So that's another reason. You know, once they get out of my truck, they can drive the 62 miles an hour truck and go 500 miles because they have stamina. It really does not do any good for them to drive 70 miles an hour. One, eating my fuel up, and two, not being able to get to their destination on time or in a timely fashion. And you know, I've had husbands call me back and say, you did such a great job with my wife. She can drive almost as far as I can. You know, they're experienced drivers, or some of them are just starting out, and their wives get in their, you know, they go to the academy together, and then their wives get out of the truck with me and can outdo them, and that makes me look good and it makes me happy. Another way to make some money is to, once you are almost to your delivery, if you haven't got a pre-plan on in your computer system, call ahead. I am 30 miles out. Do I have a pre-plan? If you don't have a pre-plan, tell them you'd like one, or let them know you're within 30 miles, and just tell them, okay, well, what you working on? You know, work on me. It's my turn. Work on me. I want to load. I don't want to sit here. Just because you arrive with a load and you're delivering it, doesn't mean that you have to sit there and wait for them, you know, without calling them. Take the initiative. Call them. I want another load. I'm ready to go. Or I'm almost ready to go, especially in what I do. Mine, I do 90 to 95% drop and hook, terminal to terminal. They know when I'm going to be there, and sometimes I call ahead if I don't already have a pre-plan. And but I have had about a month ago, I went to the receiver, and the shipper and the receiver, and oh, that about drove me crazy. I had 2 stops, and whoo, I don't miss that at all. That's crazy. You got to sit there and wait to be loaded. I was there 4 hours, and then made it to the receiver, and they had moved locations, and KLLM, I was helping KLLM out, and they didn't have the new address, and that was a nightmare. I was on these back roads in Louisiana. Actually, I was down there when the guy, when the pickup truck hit the 18-wheeler, and the 18-wheeler hit another 18-wheeler, and he went into the river and died. I was down there then, and that was like 2 months ago. And but anyways, you God rest his soul. And you know, you call ahead and say, I'm ready to go. I'm this, I'm that. Always pre-trip your truck. That helps too, because if you're a lease operator and your truck is not running, your company is not making any money. And make sure that you know when your warranties run out on your truck, and there's different warranties that end at different milestones, you know, different mileages. So understand and know that, and also know, speak to other drivers, talk to other drivers, because when you talk to other drivers, you find out so much stuff. I had a driver, he went in for something with his deaf, and he said, oh, it's covered under warranty. And then when it was all done, he read the receipt to me. And so I said, okay, well, I know if that happens to me, I'm still under warranty right now. I can go and get that fixed for free. It happened. They charged me, it was $400 for the part, and like almost $600 for the labor. And I went ahead and I paid it. You know, it was okay. But I contacted Freightliner, the headquarters, and they sent me my money back. I was really happy about that. And now I just look at them with the side eye. You know, is that not really covered? Okay, well, do what you have to do to get my truck up and running and finished, and I'll worry about it later. Because there's a lot of Freightliners that don't want to do the warranty work, and that's why your trucks sit there so long. But I just wanted to talk to you about that type of stuff today, and how you maximize your time. You know, try to get your rest when you're supposed to get your rest. You know, you only have 10 hours off. Try to sleep at least 7 of those hours. I'm not a big sleeper like that. I probably sleep maybe 5 hours, and a couple I go in and sit down and eat. I don't walk around truck stops in the middle of the night. If I know that I'm going to be pulling into a truck stop at night, I go to the fuel island. Ladies, don't walk around truck stops in the middle of the night. It's so dangerous. I go to the fuel island, go inside, get whatever it is I need to eat, for me not to be, so I don't have to get out of that truck anymore tonight. So, but I'm in Chicago, and it started snowing. I don't know if you can see all that, but they said it was supposed to be worse. It's still coming down. I'm just waiting on them to finish my paperwork so I can pull out. I'm headed to Florida. I can't wait to get there. So until we meet again, be safe out there and keep on trucking, baby.